Good evening and welcome back to Mystic Matters. We are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening, Kristin. And I want to just personally thank Kristin, my co-host, who's been pinch hitting in for a while now, for a great, you did great in the last show. Thank you so much for, it is real difficult, and I tell people this, to co-host Mystic Matters when you're a single person, because there's a lot of talking and a lot of information that has to get out there. But thank you, Kristin. You've always done a great job. Very proud to sit in this chair with you.
Thank you. A pleasure.
So, what's going on at the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce?
Well, the holiday is coming up, of course, July 4th.
Yes.
And contrary to popular belief, we do not have fireworks or a parade in Mystic.
Well, we should, but we're so busy.
We are so busy.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what we do is we all go to Sailfest, which is in New London, the weekend after. And the Mashantucket Pequot tribe and Foxwoods Resort put on this huge, huge fireworks show, which is totally worth it.
You can see from both sides of the river.
Both sides of the river, and New London is just alive with events and booths and food, etc. So that's what we do. That's our secret. The Mystic Seaport does have like a traditional July 4th event. So if you want to experience what July 4th might have been like in 1876, you can go to the Mystic Seaport. And then for the Mystic Chamber, July 7th, we're going to be doing business before hours on a pontoon boat.
Yes, that's what I hear.
Yes, Freedom Boat Club is hosting.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And another thing is, too, we have the second week in August, of course, our Mystic Outdoor Art Festival is coming up, and we've got a lot of great sponsors that will have Hannah Stewart here in the next couple of weeks to explain all the sponsorships, and it's still calling out for volunteers. But just to remind everybody that Mystic is vibrant, our surrounding downtown Groton, downtown Mystic, we've got a lot of wonderful restaurants and, of course, businesses. A few new businesses opening up, Kristin, as well.
Oh, yeah. Seabags is downtown now, and Island Pursuit. When I was in Sarasota, I went to visit their store in Sarasota on St. Armand's.
Yes, I've been there.
Yeah, we were very thrilled to have.
And we've got a new bakery.
That's Adam Young, who is adorable, and his wife Abby, who's on our board.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're really excited about the communication in Mystic, and everybody seems to be really thinking about it as a community, so we're happy about that.
That's great. And speaking of community, and as I look forward to the show this evening, and they just do such a great job, Frank here in the studio, and of course Kristin producing the show. And I look forward to a lot of the great information as we introduce people and reintroduce people to Mystic Matters. And I just have the opportunity this evening of introducing back to the studio, to Mystic Matters, really a friend. And it's going to be a very easy show for us this evening, because not only do we have a lot of information out, but we've got a lot of great photos that we want to show you. And I'm just very proud to introduce Lee Paradis, as she's back on the show with us this evening for Horses Healing Humans. And we were speaking a little bit prior that it's been 5 years since the founder and executive director founded Horses Healing Humans. And I was thankful that we have some information in front of us, Kristin, and I was in awe of where Lee had started, and 5 years from now, where the organization is today. So welcome back, Lee, to the show.
It's great to see you
again. The community. I'm basically going to turn it over to you to first kind of do a recap on what exactly is your organization, why it was started, and sort of go from there.
That's a big one.
That is, I know. Okay, I get to personally know what's going on, but for our audience, I think it's important.
So we started the program in 2011 after I spent a couple of years recovering from a traumatic brain injury and carpal tunnel injuries that ended my dental career.
Yes.
And therapeutic riding was a huge part of my rehabilitation, both cognitively and physically. And it was something that I had considered doing for many years, but never could find the time in my schedule to do that. So it was, I kind of got a whack upside the head and said, you're supposed to be doing something different right now. And everything that we've needed along the way has kind of magically, miraculously fallen into place for us. And so starting 2011 with 3 horses and 6 riders. Now we have 10 horses for the summer right now, and about 60 riders, and a number of new programs, and building all the time. So we do equine facilitated psychotherapy, equine assisted learning, therapeutic riding, and carriage driving are our primary programs, and then we have offshoots of those as well, a number of special programs that we've developed. So we do.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to, did you know that story about Lee?
I did. Lee and I have had events at the Horses Healing Humans
Beautiful
since
piece of
2010.
property.
And in the beginning, it was like we just hung around in the stables because they didn't have the house. And then they got the house with a loan from the Department of Agriculture. And that was a very exciting event. We went to the ribbon cutting for that, and everybody was there because everybody's been involved, you know. Joe Courtney and like Andy Maynard and everybody was there. It was very Sue Urban, is that her name? Diane
Urban. Was there too. Yeah.
We've had just incredible support all around.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your programs. I mean, if you want to take them individually or talk about the ones that are...
I'm actually going to use my notes so I don't forget anything.
Well, that's all right. She printed them, so
we do have, actually starting July 11th will be our 4th year of HEALS Camp. It's Human and Equine Alternative Learning in summer, HEALS. It's a kind of a novel program. It's very small. We only take 4 to 6 kids per week. And over the course of the week, they have to work collaboratively together. So it's teaching them teamwork and collaboration to come up with a play that they're going to put on at the end of the week with their horses. So they have 1 week to pull this together.
Wait a minute, they come up with the play?
They come up with a play. So they have to come up with their theme, their script. Over the course of the week, they do artwork that incorporates into that. The writing skills that they learn are chosen so that they support the program that they're producing. And at the end of the week, they have our horseplay theater production. They have an art show. So we have an art studio on site where we can bring a horse right in. And so they spend their afternoons in the art studio doing work to support their play and other things. And we have an ice cream social for their families on Friday.
Okay, all right.
It's very cool.
All right. I know where you're going because I see the ice cream.
No, I was thinking, we were talking earlier about having time, right? Having time to do things.
Yeah.
And the programs at Horses Healing Humans are so saturated and so complete and amazing. You know, like it's not just, a learning camp, you know, to learn about yourselves and horses. It's like this whole one thing and another and a play and an art show. It's fantastic. That's why it's a great place to
I'm
go.
just curiously as who comes up with these ideas? I mean, I'm looking at all.
I think it's
you have no idea.
Like
it's. I mean, I have to say. I mean, I've known Lee a long time, and so I guess the progression of what you've done and the people that support this organization is just amazing in the 5 years. I guess that's what I'm most impressed with. But not only that, just the support. I think from the community, and you know we have
been tremendous.
We have organizations, but this one seems. I mean, is it the tug at the heart, or is it the you know, you actually see the results on a daily basis? It's a happy place. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's a combination
It is a happy place.
of everything.
I think my staff may get annoyed with me sometimes for coming up with
Supposed
all
to get
these
annoyed.
new ideas.
because
And it's like, okay, you do it.
You do it, right?
You came up with it, you do it.
but the inspiration must come from someplace. It's just you're pulling within, you know, like
Perhaps just my background in general, and perhaps having lived with a brain injury and knowing what works. And expressive arts are really helpful when you have any kind of language impairment or cognitive impairment. Sometimes the words don't come.
right. It's here.
It's in there,
Yeah,
but
but
it doesn't always come
It's not
through.
tracking. Yeah.
Exactly. And so we started incorporating different types of expressive and healing arts into our programs just as an adjunct to what we were already doing with the horses. So For instance, we've started recently our EquiZen program, which is a mounted but very low impact program of yoga and Pilates type postures on horseback to help women of a certain age, usually men too, EquiZen for men. But it's generally women of a certain age.
Did you see that? It was, one thing that's good about the show is the eye contact. When she said that, I tried to turn your way.
Yeah, right.
I'm like this. Who are you looking at?
But most of our clients in EquiZen are dealing with issues after stroke, mobility issues from arthritis or prior injuries, any kind of imbalance difficulties, strength and mobility, core strength. In my case, hands and balance. And so we do these postures with somebody kind of guiding and as much assistance as anyone needs. So if somebody needs somebody to hold their horse or, steady their leg or protect them from sliding if their balance is, then we provide that support for them. And we go through a series of postures at the halt with all the horses facing each other. We have music. We work on breathing exercises, so a lot of it is relaxation, meditations, and then once we go through those, everyone does it to the best of their ability. Then we go out on the rail at a walk with somebody leading the horses, and we do those same postures again at the walk, which is much, much more challenging. If a rider finds it too challenging, they don't need to do it. Just sit and enjoy the movement of the horse. Just that bilateral motion of the horse is loosening up joints and
Unbelievable.
Stimulating all of the body systems.
Well, one thing that we had the opportunity to have this evening is and Frank, you're going to have to work with me here. I think we're ready for some pictures and sort of set up some of the pictures that Lee sent over to the studio. And who is this?
This is Hans. He's probably my favorite pony. He's a Norwegian fjord. He's extremely mellow. If you can get him going, he's wonderful. And then when you stop, he just closes his eyes and drops his head and goes to sleep. But
and how old is Hans?
He's our steady Eddie. Hans is, I believe, 27 this year.
Okay.
You can see he's got a little bit of a clip. He does have some metabolic problems, and so he grows this great hairy coat in the winter. And then when the warm weather comes in, he has a more difficult time thermoregulating, so we do clip him a little bit and help cool him off.
Then
he's just a friendly guy. There he is again on a trail ride. This is the trail leading from the house down to the barn. So we have a whole series of sensory trails out in the woods over 37 acres. And sometimes this is where, the end of the trail where we're heading back down to the barn there. So it's a fairly steep hill, and it is challenging. So riders have to stay focused and balanced and make sure their horses aren't climbing up on the side.
And our next one, Frank, we've got a couple. Oh, there you are.
That's me spotting Seven. Seven is a Black Forest draft mare who is free leased to us. She's a wonderful driving horse. So she kind of heads up our therapeutic driving programs.
You mean driving like in
with a cart?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with a cart. We call her Seven. That's not her name. Her real name is Tierra, as in Earth. But that sounds very dainty, and she is not.
She doesn't look dainty,
she's
but
not dainty at all.
Yeah, okay.
But she's quite wonderful. She's kind of our Tina Turner of
all
horses. But she does have a Rockin' Seven brand. This is Ruby, who just this week retired. Ruby was our first therapy horse. She's been absolutely phenomenal. Greatest work ethic ever. And
how old is Ruby?
Ruby is 26.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Is that real
she
years? Like human years?
Real years.
Yeah. Oh.
But she had a degenerative connective tissue disorder and had to be removed from the riding program. So for the last 18 months, 2 years, she's worked in the psychotherapy program with us as an unmounted partner. And here she's working in one of our EFP sessions. She was amazing. This is our EquiZen program, and that's me on my horse doing. That's one of the simpler exercises.
I think getting up on the horse sounds
That's actually my favorite. That's my favorite exercise at the walk, because it mobilizes all of your joints. It feels wonderful.
Listen, Lee, I just practiced Equizin on my way here. I was like, I got to get that right, so I'm glad Lee said that.
We've actually, this is from our camp program. So one of the groups decided they were going to do a circus for their play.
Oh, so they made this up?
Yeah, so on the last day, the last day is the best because they spend the whole morning decorating their horses, dressing them up, painting on them, making these elaborate costumes, putting their set design together, and then this was their actual performance.
Fantastic.
Is that open to the public, that performance?
No, that's for family and friends.
Okay.
And what do we have here? So it looks like a
This
party that
was
we were not
our
invited
barn.
to.
This was a barn dance a couple of years ago, and we'll be doing this again next week on the 2nd.
I remember this, yes.
For our 5th anniversary. This year we're doing it very low key. We do have a band coming. We have, I have the name of it. No, I don't.
But this is great, yeah.
Do you have the name of the band?
I thought I had the name of the band, but I don't. No.
I know I wrote it in here, and now I can't find it.
No, I
and
don't.
I can't
But
think
they
of it.
They can find.
I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's on our our website and on our Facebook. But this year, so that our staff and our volunteers can actually enjoy themselves, we're doing a potluck and a BYOB, 21 plus, and we're just going to relax and have fun.
Oh,
with the band.
Much better, don't you think? Without all the
yeah.
Oh my
Because
gosh,
we work so hard for all these events,
Sure.
and the people that need to have some relaxation time
Yeah.
are killing themselves working to make it wonderful for everybody. And this year it's like let's let everybody have fun.
Yeah.
We can all relax.
Just a couple of questions. I mean, you've got how many horses?
We have 10 right now.
10 horses. And
Yeah.
do you own all 10 horses? And where do they come from?
No, they some of them are rescued or owned by staff. Some are free leased, and some are owned are donated and owned by the program. So there's a combination.
Combination.
So free
of
lease
things where they
meaning?
come. Meaning they're owned by somebody else, but they give us the use of the horse.
Okay.
And we pay most of the expenses for that horse and take care of them.
So what
while
type?
they're
How do
using
you
the
know?
program.
How do you pick your horses, and what are these? You know, the personalities. How are they
That's
sort of vetted?
That's complex.
Oh, that's another show, Lee. We got
That's
to come.
yeah, it is. We probably turn down 90%, maybe more. And most of that is on the first phone call that we're able to identify that they're not appropriate for our program.
Wow.
If we think they might be appropriate, we go and visit them at wherever they are.
Wherever they are, okay.
And spend a couple of hours kind of trying them out and seeing what they'll tolerate, what they're good at, maybe what they're not so good at. And if they pass that, then we bring them on site for a 4 to 6 week trial period where we start trying them out in programs and see if they're well suited or not, because it's not just like any job.
Sure.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, well, no, they've got to sort of be interviewed and vetted
Yeah,
out.
so literally they get a working interview for 6 weeks, and then we make a decision whether they're going to stay or not.
And just talk a little bit about, and I see here breast cancer patients and post-cancer life.
Those are some of our special programs
Yeah.
that we can do. They're not run regularly. They're run on an as-needed basis, or when we find the clients that need that program. So there's a very specialized program that can be done for breast cancer patients, and this would be a private session over about 6 to 8 weeks. And what we do is have them lie prone first on a barrel to try it out so that they know how it's going to progress, and then on the back of the horse, so they're facing backwards, lying prone on their chest. This helps to desensitize the surgical site, or if it wasn't surgery, whatever, the treatment site if they've had radiation. It also stimulates the vagus nerve, so it gets all of the body systems functioning well, and it allows that person to connect very, very closely, skin-to-skin contact with that horse. And then as they start walking, they regulate their breathing to the horses. So it's all about reconnection and this kind of horse-human interaction that translates back to their lives at home, because they've lost their identity. We use horses. It's very important that you use horses that are beautiful, because they've lost beauty in their life.
Yep,
They need to reconnect with that.
Absolutely.
It's
Unbelievable.
I get chills talking about it.
Yes,
it's a very
I do
powerful
too.
program.
I have a friend who went through that, not the therapy, but she had said, and the word human is crucial, that she had said that she felt for a while that she was no longer what they classified like as a human, because you've got a picture of what that looks like. So that seems like a brilliant
Well,
way.
and
back.
you know, relating to, I mean, having had a mastectomy a year and a half ago, you know, I can absolutely relate to, you know, just how you feel. I mean, you know, I remember coming out of the surgery about 10 and a half hours later and saying, wow, you know, after I got acclimated to where I was like, okay, so how's this new Susette going to be? You know, when you're used to looking a certain way, or, but you know, the reason why I brought that up is I was like, wow, I never thought about that until you just clicked, you know, and said, you know, these horses have to be beautiful because they have to see themselves in a different light.
Yeah.
And I think as a breast cancer patient and still going through, you know, recovery, I think that's what you have to learn the most is that, in fact, you have to dig a little bit deeper. It's not only sort of the physical look, because I think that a lot of people with a little bit of makeup and whatever, but I think the beauty has to come from within. And I think learning that all over again, even if you had it, you lose it for that little bit of time, and it's sort of getting it back together again.
Yeah.
So absolutely wonderful. It may even take you up at that.
Well, there you go.
Down the
Well,
road.
the other piece too is that the horses are completely non-judgmental, and
Yeah.
that's a major factor in why they're so important in this work in all different areas.
Can
They
we
don't
learn?
care.
Can just all of us learn
Yeah, they
from
don't
that
care.
anyways? Not
They
to be
care about
judgmental?
what your energy is, what your intent is.
And they feel that, Lee.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah,
think that's why the
absolutely.
horses are so good.
So what we find often with clients who have had a trauma in their past, whether it's a
Yeah,
mastectomy or
mastectomy.
you know, sexual trauma, domestic violence, any kind of trauma, the horses get that, and they're great caregivers. If you come in with an angry, prickly energy, they're going to maybe
Oh, they're
walk
gonna know
off
that.
and say, "I don't want to deal
Yeah,
with you."
they're going to know that.
But if you've had an invisible wound of any kind,
They know that.
the horses understand that, and they kind of gather around.
Yeah.
And
So speaking of that,
take
just
care
a
of.
little bit of a time here. I want to talk a little bit on the veterans, on what you do so much with the veterans.
So we're working on expanding our veterans program. We served over 300 veterans
Yes.
over the course of
I
the
know
last
it was a
year.
big number.
A lot of it is has been substance abuse that is a result of their PTS, their depression, their combat wounds. We're working with a number of different programs to develop a number of different outside programs to develop our programs. Very exciting coming up in November. We're going to be working with Walter Reed Hartnett Hospital.
I saw that, yes.
I hate when I lose my words.
Well, I did see that. And I know Walter Reed Hospital.
I don't have all of this here. But anyway, Walter Reed Army Hospital, Invisible Wounds Foundation, Boots on the Ground. We're putting together a 4-day retreat for veterans and their spouses. We'll be working on recovery from invisible wounds, traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress, all that stuff. So it's a really comprehensive, wonderful program that we're putting together. And then in addition to that, we're looking at doing a program with Vets R&R. We have a pilot program coming up. Our beta testing will be done this summer with 4 veterans in anticipation of larger programs at 3 different sites in the state. So between the 3 sites, we'll be working with over 100 veterans a year. And then the Wounded Warrior Project has funding for PATH-accredited centers, and we have completed our accreditation last year.
Congratulations.
So we're eligible to work with them. They're just kind of finalizing some of the details for that on the funding. And there are criteria that need to be met, and that can be hard, finding the veterans,
Well, sure.
getting them there, having them meet the criteria, and then getting the funding for veterans programs is very complicated.
So I wanted to ask about the golf tournament that's
Sure.
coming
Perfect.
up.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we got a few minutes, and
Big
so let's
deal.
wrap it up with that.
Big deal coming up. July 18th at Lake of Isles on the, which course is it? South course?
I think it is.
I believe.
Yes, I think it is in the South
I think that's
course.
the more challenging. I'm not a golfer,
Right.
so I don't know
Right.
anything
And we
about
do have a
golf
lot of
tournaments,
sponsorships available too. So
but many
The website
sponsorships
is
available.
so easy to sign
yeah,
up on the
yeah.
website. You
and
just
I
click
think we've
and
got
click.
that right there, right on
there you go.
your screen, and so that's great too. But that's coming up July 18th,
July 18th coming up soon.
Lake of Isles.
So we're looking for players. We're looking for sponsors. Some of our sponsors who aren't able to play have made their spots available for veterans. So
Oh, that's
this is
wonderful,
very
too.
veteran
So,
focused.
yeah, okay.
This one.
All right, that's
So,
fantastic. Now,
very
this is your
exciting.
first golf tournament.
We had a golf tournament a couple of years ago that
Okay.
was done as a benefit for us. We didn't produce it. Alan Silvestri
Know 'em well.
did,
Yep.
and put that together for us, and that was a lot of fun. So this is the second time. This is the first time that we're producing it.
Yeah, right, you're actually doing.
Yeah.
And just really quick, the staff, how many people on board at the...
We have 3 full-time staff.
I-
very
small. I just want everybody to understand, as
We-
Lee was going on and on and on about the programs and sort of the outreach, I just wanted everybody to hear 3, okay?
3 full-time. We have a couple of part-time. We have a lot of great volunteers,
Yeah.
tremendous volunteers, and without them we couldn't do this because we all wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
And we all volunteer as many hours as we're paid for, so or more.
Right.
And that's that's where we are right now. So that's okay.
And
Spending
how
all the
else
time.
can the community contribute for you?
Well, we're always looking for sponsors, donors, and volunteers, and there are many ways to volunteer. We have facility projects going on, and my staff is building a shed right now without me.
Yeah, yeah.
We have facility projects, we have trails projects, we always need help with events and that sort of thing, coordination, administrative help. I would like to spend more time in the barn with the students and the horses than at my desk and my computer.
That's you, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
definitely you,
Yeah,
Lee.
so there's lots and lots of ways to help, and we're so appreciative of everything we get.
Well,
Lots of
I just
different
want to
areas.
say that, Lee, it's so great to have you back on the show
Thank
again.
you. It's
And,
good to
and
be here.
it just went by fast because I knew just from the email, thank you, Kristin, that this organization has really thrived and has grown. But it was Lee's sort of vision, and she is the founder, and we just, thank you for bringing this to our community. And again, get on the website and see how you can volunteer, donate, and even come up with some, well, maybe you don't have to come up with ideas, because I got to tell you, she's got it going on. But Lee Paradis, thank you so much for being on the
you.
show with
Thank
us,
you.
Horses Healing Humans. Thank you, Kristin. I will see you next week. We are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening.
Good evening.